So this is an overview of the Wi-Fi remote panel that you can connect to the wheelchair with any sort of tablet, PC or computer. So first what I'll show you is the things that are always being displayed. So we've got the CPU usage up the top there, and that's currently about 70%. And you can also see the chair's current mode, so it's in idle or stationary mode, which is indicated by the pencil. It's at the main menu, and the current direction is normal, so it's facing forward by the orange arrow. It's also showing the screen, what messages the screen sending back to us if you're interested. That's currently nothing. Now we've also got the joystick region and the select button. So if we tap the joystick, say forward, you'll see the light lights up, backwards, left, right, or right left rather. The select button, so that'll show us the hold time and the press count. So if I hold down, you'll see it counted up a few milliseconds there. If I double tap, you'll see it goes to drive. So we're in drive now. It also shows you the battery percentage and the raw battery voltage coming from the battery management PCB. So both those are there. The scale battery voltage doesn't mean too much, but it will tell us, it'll show us basically real time how quickly the battery is discharging. There's also the time remaining. So at the chair's sitting idle at the moment, so it's at its current draw, it'll be on for another 18.6 hours. You'll see that if we throttle up and draw some more current through the motors, that time, as expected, decreases. So at that current, sitting there at that current draw at that speed, we've got another 7.3 hours left. And that changes as you throttle. Now the sub-menus, the first one we've got is the configuration menu. So this is how you can set the chair up. So when it's in the drive mode, you can't actually apply any changes, and that's just a safety feature that we've put in there. So first you've got to put it into any other state. We'll put it into the main state, and now you'll see the apply button and the refresh button appear. So these are the motor configurables. You've got the acceleration, you've got the max continuous current milliamps, and you've got the max speed. So at the moment it's at the 2500, its max is 5000. So you'll notice that if that max speed is set to 2500, you will actually be able to see that in the touch panel as well. So if we go start, you see it's 50%, 2500 is half 5000. So we can move that all the way up here to 100. Now if we refresh the configuration screen, you'll notice that speed changes here. And in the same way we can bump this all the way down. Let's bump it down a bit. Let's say we'll go down to 49, 50 odd. And then what we can do is apply that. And now we should see that reflected in the menu here. You see it's at 99% now instead of 100. So the next configurables you've got here is your throttle curve for your joystick. So at the moment it's set to exponential and a curve factor of 1, or exponential of 1, which basically means it's linear. Now if we adjust that, let's make it 3, and apply that. So that's your new throttle curve. So you have a lot more authority in the bottom half and less authority as you move the joystick up to close to 100% of its movement range. We can also set this to ease in, ease out, and if we apply that, you get authority at both top and bottom, and not much authority in the middle, 30% there. You'll see these changes also reflected in the advanced screen. So if we go to here, advanced, there's an in-out with the throttle curve of 3. Let's change it back to exponential, and we'll change it back down to a linear. And now if we refresh that, you'll see we have that exponential adjustment factor 1, and it's nice and linear again. Also tells you the current log file. So there's a maximum of 24 locations the log can be written to. Each log stores an hour of 48 locations. Each log stores half an hour worth of data. So that we'll get to that in a second. The motor outputs. So this graph here just shows you exactly what the motors are doing in real time. So basically you've got the two velocities, left and right velocity, and the current draw of each motor. So if we go into drive and throttle up, you'll see there's the current velocity. Now if we bank a little one way, you'll see the speed start to separate as one motor slows down to bank the other way, and the opposite motor slows down a bit. And we go flat forward, both motors go the same speed, and we go flat forward. You can see we're drawing about an amp from both motors. One of them is in minus 1000 milliamps, the other's in positive 1000 milliamps, with the throttle indicators off to your right here. So that's pretty simple motor outputs. We also have the remote control screen, so if we change the chair to remote mode, you'll notice here that the remote is turned on, the icon up the top there. So now we can set the speed, and if we just click, we get that throttle based on the speed we just set. We can go down a bit, and you can steer the chair remotely from here. Bring it back out of remote into normal mode. The log data, so this is basically where you can view the logs that are being saved on your chair. So you can see here in real time the current log location is number 40. So if we refresh this, it will show us all our current data logs. So we go all the way down to 40 here. The current file size is about 1.2 meg, and it's writing data to that at 1 kilobit per second, kilobytes per second. So if we just want to have a little look, we can select a log, say the first one there that we've got, and we'll graph that. So we hit graph. Basically we should see the progress bar come up as it is building the data for us, reading it all out of the log file, and then once it's finished we can actually look at the left and right velocity of the motor, the current draws for both motors, and the battery voltage. So that was a little trip I took it where I was just driving it up and down little hills and stuff. Took it for a bit of a drive here. You see the velocity was constant, and then basically just up and down, little round, little sharp movements all around, and that's the current draw there. You've got your effective and accepted, so they're basically your set points for your motor for your PID control because it's in velocity mode. And the last sub panel is just the errors. So that basically just spits out any errors they might have. Minor ones just get displayed here. If they're more serious, then the chair takes other actions like putting the chair into error mode and displays an error screen. You can also reset the controller from this menu here, so if we hit that, the whole Rio actually reboot. So that is all the functions, bells and whistles of the remote panel.